forgot to close your shades last night. And I saw you. I saw the both of you. There you was, standing in the bathroom door, dripping wet and naked as you please. Calling to the other and to put down her book and come over and bring you a clean towel. She got standing in that bathroom door with your naked behind. I saw you. I saw you. I saw you.
Listen, we are back. Make sure you like this video as you are coming in. Make sure you like it. Thank you. What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new. And honey, I am back in the building. Listen, how you doing? How you baby mama doing? How your baby daddy doing? How them badass children doing? Okay, they getting on your nerves, girl. You think about your next vacation, girl. You think about the holidays, girl. One of y'all asked me, y'all said, where is the vegetable? I was tickled by this, honey. Where is the vegetable in your holiday meal? I'm having pot roast and gravy. It'll be a very thick, succulent gravy, mashed potatoes, right? Garlic mashed potatoes and corn. That is like one of my favorite meals. And sometimes I swipe out the pot roast for steak, right? But this time, it's Christmas, honey, okay? And I want to have a nice, juicy pot roast. So we will be having corn with that, with some sweet dinner rolls. And I'm trying to figure out what's going to be for dessert. Maybe some type of apple pie, Miss Robinson know how to eat good. Listen, I know how to eat good. Okay. Honey, I'm over here trying to look at what's on the docket for today, honey. We have Yolanda. Yolanda, honey. Ooh, child. Yolanda is over there crashing out, child. Yolanda is over there crashing out over Queen Shiba, saying Queen Shiba is the reason that her channel will be terminated. Something to do with Stormy. Queen Shiba didn't like that Yolanda overly defended Stormy and put her business out on there. Was it a video where Yolanda was putting out Queen Shiba's like real life name and address and all the things, child? It's a big nasty mess. Now, of course, there's no accountability or responsibility, and it's always somebody else's fault that these type of things are happening, right? Oh my God, I can't stop laughing. So somebody says to Yolanda, good riddance to another disrespectful, diabolical demon. Oh my God. Said that on the man's page, child. Called him a disrespectful, diabolical demon. But look, did they lie though, right? Child, it's a mess. Some of y'all sent me clips of her video, right? Yolanda's video. Yolanda says she's not upset that the channel is going away. What do you all think of that? Do you think that that's true? Okay, you say you don't care. You out here traveling and living your best life, but here you are. So one person says, I'm going to go on and say it's something about Queen Shiba's voice I just could not tolerate. And so I never could adjust long enough to listen to her content. What? And I get that everybody is not everybody's cup of tea, but I feel like Queen Shiba is a very good content creator. Look, she got my stamp of approval. She got my vote, honey. Okay. I like Queen Shiba. I also like that she cuss a little bit. She ain't one of them super sadiddy, I'm too good to curse. And y'all know how some of y'all act, child. Okay? Like somebody cursing it's like you hear gunshots outside, and like I cannot stand people like that. Oh my God, it's just too much. You can't, this ain't the environment for you then, baby. Can't take a few cuss words. You gotta go. Okay, you gotta go. But yeah, she'll cuss a little bit too, honey. She get mad enough. I like it. Honey, baby, I love me some Queen Shiba. I think that people are jealous of Queen Shiba and True T. What do you guys think? I think there are certain people, they don't like those two. I notice it always comes down, to those two. People don't like, their charismatic personalities. They're polarizing personalities. So, what do you guys think? And then, of course, everybody also has the right to not like you. They may not like certain things you say or do. I get that, but I don't know. I just feel like there are people that like get attacked more in the sector than other people, is what I would say. Yolanda will be on TikTok, so will you guys be following Yolanda on TikTok? She says she could do her lives over there, girl. You go check it out. Lisi. I'm about to read some of y'all comments to my last video. Did you hear that commentary about Yolanda and Kiki and the producers? And, she's acting all like, oh, the Love and Marriage Huntsville producers, they should have did more for Kiki. They're over there helping Trisha. They got her over there talking to Dr. Francis. They should have did that for Kiki. Don't you hate when people advocate like that, saying that somebody else should have treated you better when them, like when it came down to like them and how they treated you like you wasn't shit. But is over there caping and advocating that other people treat you better. And it's like, and if you guys just sit back long enough, you will be able to tell that certain people, they just don't have a heart. There's like no remorse for how they've treated people. There's no conscience. That's why, like, when I hear people from my past, when they will tell like mutual friends that we may have in common, oh, I don't know why Brandy doesn't like me. I did nothing to her. She just reacted just so out of place, and it was just so much. They never take any accountability or responsibility for what they've did to me, what they said to me. Because when you are really like dealing with a full-on like narcissist, or just let's just say they have the traits of narcissism, right? They don't feel anything with how, they don't care about how they treated you. A lot of narcissistic people are hypocrites. They can treat you a certain way. You better not say or do anything bad back, or you are the bad person. You know what I'm saying? So it's whenever I hear that, and I think in my past I had somebody that was really advocating that I sit down with a person. One thing about me, and some of y'all know this, some of you may not, I'm very blunt. And I'm very straightforward, and I think I'm just a little bit too real for certain people. They live in a delusional la land, and when I come on the scene, I'm not here for the fantasies. I'm not here for the bullshit. I'm gonna call it out every time. And certain people, they don't like that you have caught on, and you see them for who and what they are. And I would just tell, this particular person, that person isn't even worth me having a conversation with. I'm not going to argue with you. What the fuck I like arguing with you about some shit that I was actually there for. And you're just trying to defend something so you can have a subjective bias, and you can, defend some shit that you don't even know the whole truth about. So, yeah. I'm like, I'm not arguing with you, worthless ass. You have no worth when it comes to me. None. Just because somebody else sees value in you does not mean I do. I don't think you're so smart or a good person. But yeah, I think that people really do believe the mask that they wear. Yeah, I go to church. I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a good person. They focus on one part of their life and they make that their whole identity. Okay? For instance, we see Giselle down to the Potomac. I'm a really good mother, but are you a really good person? See, we can focus on you as a mother, but are you a well-rounded, I respect everybody type of person? No, you're not. Okay? Okay, so one person says, stop the BS. Funky told Tasha K he was going to fight her in front of her husband and whomever. They both are despicable. Tasha and Funky, and Tamar is problematic. But when it comes down to it, I don't like Funky the most. I think that's what it comes down to with certain content creators. If you guys don't like them, and then you kind of hear somebody defending them or understanding where they're coming from, it's like, yeah, but I don't even like them. So I get it, but you know, you have a subjective bias because you don't, you know, you are sticking to the opinion. You don't like the person. So another person says, I know what you mean. Make it make sense after he dogged Kiki out. They're talking about Yolanda, honey. Yolanda is nothing but a snake. Yolanda, and this is the thing, right? This is why you got to pay attention to people. Because on Yolanda's video, I believe the most recent one, Yolanda came in talking bad about Melody. Talked bad about Queen Shiba. You know, just coming out like saying, oh, she can't have a child. And I don't believe if like Yolanda came out and directly said that, but alluded like, oh, she can't have a child, like getting smart, being sarcastic, being nasty, right? And so this is when Yolanda was by herself, right? Being nasty, throwing shade, if you will, right? Throwing shade. And I was like, damn, you just gonna come out and say, you know, she can't have no kids or whatever. Yeah, it ain't my fault. You know, she can't have no kids. And that's why the Lord didn't want to bless her with a child. And like saying all that, right? This is when Yolanda was by herself. Once Yolanda began talking to other people, you saw the switch. You experienced it. Yolanda began saying, oh, I can admit when I'm wrong. Oh, I know I was wrong when I said that she couldn't have no kids. You started the video with that tone. With a nasty, derogatory, sarcastic tone. You forgot what you did when you was by yourself. Now when you get around people and you're being called on a bad behavior, now, well, I can take accountability and responsibility when I'm wrong and that was wrong. You just started the fucking video out like that. It's not like this reached you 6 months later. Okay? And you can like honestly look back at your behavior and be like, you know what? I fucked up with Kiki. I fucked up when I talked about Queen Shiba like a dog. Over there dogging out Melody, calling her fix-a-flat. Yeah. So you can, in one breath, you're saying, I could take accountability and responsibility for my actions, but I'm still dragging. And then I will sit up and wonder why nobody takes me seriously. It's just like, baby, I could teach a class on this. Listen, but I was just looking at that. Like, it's a pot of confusion. A ball of confusion. Shout out to the Temptations. Okay? Was that them, honey? Listen. But yeah, it's just like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. You didn't change. You didn't learn anything. You don't feel bad. Yeah, it's a mess. Another person, Tasha K, what you need to do is pay Cardi B. Yeah, she over there like getting in the middle of Funky Daniva. That's another one. It's like, well, the way he treats women, would y'all quit with that shit for a minute? Because some of y'all like to take that, and then that's what I'm saying. You use that narrative as the whole identity for everything that you're talking about. And it's not right. It's not. Some of these black women on YouTube, you can't even say that about Funky Dineva, because you treat black women bad. You put gay people on a pedestal. You are on everybody's side that's transgender. Okay? So you ain't for the women all like that either. Like, it's just crazy to me. It's just, but the way he treats women, I would respect y'all more if y'all say the way he treat people, period. Well, we mainly see it with women. Okay. But trust me, if that person treat women bad, they treat everybody bad. Okay. So, or just say they got fucked up ways. That's fine. But like when we take and then y'all go into, yeah, and how he did Michelle. As if he can't grow from that. He can't move forward and make different decisions. And he does have problematic ways. I'm not even here to negate or argue with that, you guys. It's just, I don't like when people just say one thing. Yeah, the way it's just lazy to me. It's just like, just talk about what you specifically have a issue with when it comes to him. Not, well, the way he do black women. Black women are a lot of his supporters. Well, that's a problem. They shouldn't like him. You can't tell people who to like. We're all human. We all have our way about us that makes us unlikable. That makes, a lot of people, and I told y'all this before, they don't like me, and I'm not talking about you guys in particular. I'm talking about people that have experienced me in real life. I know they don't like me because I have qualities that they will never have. Like in my last relationship, I had a whole bunch of qualities he will never have. And he hated me for that. Okay? The person he was with before, they hated me for that. They're like, who does this bitch think... Who does she think she is? How dare she be beautiful and talented and know her worth and go against the grain and not give a shit about what anybody says about her? How dare she? I wish I fucking had that. But no, all I had was my weak ass codependent mammy that brought me up in such a way. That's what that be, you guys. That's what that be sometimes with you. Don't you ever look at it like that? People don't like you because you are a representation of what they will never be. They wish they had the courage, because it takes courage to do this. If anybody could do it, everybody would. Okay? That's just how I see it. You gotta break down, like, and really be honest why, certain people, why they may not like you. And a lot of times that's what it is. Or maybe it's something you're inconsistent on. They caught on to it, Certainly it's not nothing to hate somebody for, because a lot of people just have a lot of hate, Oh, I hate, and I could get that if somebody did something to you, but when we hate people, they ain't did shit to us. That shit a bit weird, but, Another person, Funky Dineva didn't do nothing to Tamar. This is my question. Who actually whooped her ass in her sleep to the point she didn't feel the pain of 4 of her teeth being knocked out of her mouth. Yeah, I'm not buying that sleepwalking shit. Tamar is an attention seeker. She knew what she was doing when she was hanging out with Funky Dineva. Funky knew what he was doing when he chose to hang out with her, because you already know her for her ways. So, like, why was you over there, sir? Because you all were both looking to get something from the other. I wish that they both would just say that and realize that. But yeah, Funky knew who Tamar was. He had been reviewing the Braxtons. He's seen her act out. on social media. But then again, maybe he felt like she was changing. You know, sometimes that happens, guys. We realize maybe somebody is changing. They're making different choices in their life. We don't hate them enough to never speak to them, or, you know, we all know mutual people, so maybe I will just try to be cool with you. You know, we'll see where it goes, right? I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Because it's like, you know who that woman is. Okay? You already know what you're getting. Oh, so another person says, "Hi, Miss Robinson. How come you didn't tell me, girl, that Yolanda's channel would be terminated on December 12th? She is over there going crazy, acting like she is not phased." Yeah, that was an act. That was an act too. Like I said, you know, if you really looked at the video, there was so many inconsistencies. And that's how you know when a person is lying, or they're just trying to make you believe a certain narrative when really under the surface something else is going on. Because you're having this life. If you didn't care, you wouldn't even address that it was going away. Or you would be very brief. You wouldn't have a live and, you know, people coming in and, yeah, it's a mess. Okay, so let's shake a bone and get the hell on. Before I make this commentary, I'm going to give you all a bit of a disclaimer. If you are a Toya Bush Harris fan, and I can actually say I'm a fan of Toya too. I think she's absolutely stunning. She is beautiful. Like Toya looked good from day one on Married to Medicine. It's not like some of the other girlies that kind of got it together. Look, I was going to say at the last minute, I'm just playing. You know, the other girlies, they got it together the third or fourth season or fifth or sixth, right? Toya had it going on from day one. And I just think she's absolutely beautiful. She really is. But she is a bit obtuse. Shout out to Mariah. Mariah recognized that a long time ago. Toya is ignorant. She is. That conversation she had with Heavenly about Heavenly running for state representative. Why wouldn't Toya run for state representative? Because Toya is all about herself. Okay? And looking good, and everything is about me, and very superficial. Heavenly is willing to forego this check to be state representative, put her shit on the line. I don't give a fuck if you like Heavenly or not. Put some respect on her name, because she's so selfless in that way. This Married to Medicine check, I'm pretty sure it's a very good check. Matter of fact, I know it is. And Heavenly, she said that, you know, she said, Married to Medicine, we get paid so well. So she was just like, for me to try to run to be state representative, that's a risk, because financially, I wouldn't be making as much as I do on Married to Medicine. She said the money I would make being state representative would be significantly less. So this is a heart person. Okay? You could say what you want about Heavenly, and Heavenly does not get the credit she deserves, because I keep seeing these same critiques of Heavenly. And like I said, you can like and dislike whoever you want, but let's not be lazy. Let's call a thing, and let's really see where the person's heart is. This woman grew up in a room with no windows. Okay? She's very educated. She's a dentist. She's a wonderful mom. She has 3 children. She's married to Damon, who is a magnificent man. He has my birthday. So look, why wouldn't he be awesome, right? Heavenly has a very beautiful life. She had a beauty supply store that, she started the business for her daughter. Her daughter loves wigs and weaves and lip gloss and, just all the things, right, that it takes to be a girl. Okay? And I just was so impressed with that. I've heard people criticize that, well, it didn't work out and it's not successful. It doesn't matter. She tried something. Some people don't even fucking try. Okay? I just adore Heavenly. I do. I see myself in her. I know some people will be like, oh my God, you're like Heavenly. She's just so evil. And honey, these people would not have a show without Heavenly. I like that about her. She's a water sign. She's a Scorpio. She's a stinger. I'm a Cancer. I'm a stinger. A water sign, we will hit that ass where it hurts. We have a polarizing personality. Okay? Where we're kind of like fire signs. We don't give a fuck. You go get this work. Okay? You're gonna get this. So I just felt like Toya was barking up the wrong tree. And it's very interesting that Bravo wants one of Heavenly's cast members to make fun of her being a state representative. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, let's make fun of this thing that she's doing. Because that's why she's friend to the show. Because they didn't even want her running, which is, I get it. And then again, I kind of don't, but whatever, right? But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, wow, because she's a black woman, it's almost as if, let's make a joke out of it. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, Heavenly state representative. I just want Heavenly on Married to Medicine. I don't really, But I am so impressed with her. Like, the more interviews I see, you guys, that she's doing. And it's so selfless. And we are in a world of, Instagram reels and looking expensive and beautiful. And we're unbothered and... Like, Heavenly got her man, her money, and and la la la. She has everything. Now I want to give back. I want to give back to those underprivileged kids that's growing up on assistance. I grew up on assistance. Her life is just so different from how she grew up. So I think she is... Now that I really think about it, I gotta give Heavenly her goddamn flowers. Because I think it's beautiful. I do. We would never... It's almost a joke that Toya is poking at her. Because Toya would never. She's so selfish. She's so self-absorbed. I think the problem with her marriage to Eugene is there's a lot of, I'm looking for him to make me happy. That's why she struggled seasons 8 and 9, because now Eugene is out the home and he's at work and, doing his own thing. He's an individual, right? I think Toya got really codependent on the relationship and was looking for Eugene to make her happy instead of her doing her work. And with Eugene out of the house, she could not lean on him. And a lot of people say, but that's her husband. No, but bitch, you got to do your own work. Life isn't just going to be handed to you, Toya, or catered to you. You are still an individual and you have to do your work. Eugene was going through his own shit. He's a human being. And he got depressed after COVID. And I'm sure it was a lie. I really sympathize with that brother. Because he said he watched so many people die in front of his face. And then he couldn't even save everybody. I can only imagine, you guys. But Toya, me. Remember what she told, who was that? Contessa. I think they was at Anila's party. Maybe her first season, right? And she tells Contessa, my husband, he a doctor. He see people die every day. Like how she just said it like it was nothing. And Contessa is actually in the motherfucking field. she like out in the fields. Okay, listen, like you don't know her experience. You're not a fucking doctor. You're just married to one. So there's a vast difference. And Toya is so out of touch. They don't tell her the truth about herself. One thing I did like about season 8 is they all read her ass for filth, including Anila. They just showed how just selfish she could be. You know? And how she just treats people like shit. She's another one jealous of Quad. You know, she thought that Quad would lose her check, and she wanted Quad to lose her check after, you know, Quad left Gregory. Because why all of a sudden she didn't want her on the couple strips? Okay? Well, I don't want her around my husband. Girl, she don't want his ass. King is completely different from Eugene. And Eugene is not a bad looking man. But some women will like go more for King. Because, honey, Eugene is always at work. Okay? Eugene don't hang out like that, child. Okay? And I want to make a quick comment, because one of you all had said, well, Eugene, you know, he's just working. You know, he's a travel nurse, and not travel nurse, but a travel doctor or whatever, right? They make money. I actually personally know one. So I know they make good money, but can we normalize that people don't do everything, you guys, just for money? They don't. You have to stop thinking so superficially on the surface. People may do some stuff for that check, okay? I'm not saying that he isn't, but there's some other factors that go along, right, with why Eugene is away from that house, okay? And then you're staying at a hotel. You got this beautiful home. And how much more money do you fucking need? Well, you never need enough and da-da-da. Yeah, I don't think the decision is just about money. I think it's something going on in that marriage. And I know that their marriage, if I like really look at it, and I like Toya and Eugene together. I do feel like they kind of balance each other out, right? I saw the cracks in the marriage on this last episode. All you got to do is watch, you guys. But a lot of you all will just, oh, well, Toy called Heavenly out and she called out Curtis, and she didn't just call out Curtis. Okay. And Curtis was wrong for putting her in his lap. It was inappropriate. God damn it, you just cheated on Jackie. But I guess Curtis wanted to feel like, you know, I'm in the group still. And I felt like he was uncomfortable. If you go back to season 5, Simone, Toya, and Quad, they all had a really good conversation about it. And I believe what Quad was saying, like, it was more of like a nervous thing, you know. And I know people will say, yeah, but he meant to put Toya in his lap. Like I said, I don't agree that he did it, but once she was in his lap, like Simone said, she should have got up. She didn't. And she was way too focused on that situation with Jackie and Curtis. She did not care about Jackie like that, because in another breath, and I bet it will play out at the reunion, she was telling Jackie it was her fault that Curtis cheated. He was just lonely. That didn't give him the fucking right, Toya, to do what he did. And I get people have their reasons for cheating. But this is a marriage. This isn't just boyfriend, girlfriend. This is a marriage. This is Jackie. She makes a certain amount of money. She's on TV. The least you fucking could have did was not embarrass her. So to me, this is like different, right? This is big. But she didn't care about Jackie like that, because when she kept fucking talking, go back to season 5. Well, my dad, she even mentioned it on this past episode. My dad was the cheater, and some people cheat. And she took whatever her dad did, and she took it in all her relationships. And then she ended up attracting that experience. And this is what I'm talking about with certain people. Okay? They think everybody cheats. You know? Instead of just seeing that certain situations are on a case-by-case basis. And I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to be affected by her father cheating. Because and recalling he, would have her lie, which is wrong, right? But that situation was on Toya. Toya's going to get down to that reunion and tell Jackie, oh, but I just cared so much about you, and I checked in on you, and I didn't like what he did to you. The problem with Toya is, and the problem is there in Eugene, they have the same problem, and that's why they are married. Can't tell me no different. They think that they are above the group with the marriage just because they didn't go through infidelity. I have to say this, like I said in one of my last videos. Go and watch Carlos King's interview he did with Cecil and Eugene. Eugene admitted there was problems in the marriage. Him and Toya refused to talk about it. On season 10, Cecil even mentioned Simone and him counseled Toya and Eugene to bring them back from the dark place that they were in. But they didn't want you all to see that. Don't you think that's a problem? And then Toya gets her hypocritical ass on season 10. Well, Quad don't show her real life. Quad don't. And she got her finger pointed, yet there's 4 fingers pointing right back at her. Because, bitch, you don't show your real life either. See, people do this in life, and it's called projection. They will and I know some of you all, you hate Quad, right? Because one thing I hate about Married to Medicine is don't nobody ever like who I like, so don't nobody really be wanting to hear what the fuck I got to say. They don't. They're like, I hate Quad, and she the reason, and Mariah, and then we go down the rabbit hole, girl, and I ain't got time. Okay? I ain't got time. But she did all that finger wagging and pointing at Quad and and was on Carlos King's podcast calling Quad ugly. Why? That body ain't ugly, girl. Okay? Her body better than yours. And Toya is a brick house. I like Toya, though. I like her thick, and I think Toya, like I said, is stunning. But you gotta give it to Quad on certain stuff. And she didn't want to do that. Was she ugly? Or her forehead big? And girl, shut up. Okay? So I knew that, I've been giving her passes, and girl, you've been out here talking shit about her too. Okay? Toya acts like a hypocrite, like she can say and do whatever to these ladies, and then when she gets it back, even with Mariah, when Mariah started going in on her, she couldn't deal with it. It was too much. Okay? But she could sit up and make judgments and, So, which is another thing that Simone does. So birds of a feather flock together, right? And then we find out on the next episode why Simone is not mad with Quad. Okay, she's mad in her marriage. Those boys, they're too dependent on her. Cecil at the table quiet because he knows he's sitting up there spending all of Simone's money, and she's mad about it. And what do these ladies do? They project. Take it out on Quad because she's living a fancy fee-free life, and she can come and go as she please. She ain't got the kids and the husband, and he practices real estate. Does he? Because I think you over there paying all them bills and you mad about it, and you gotta blame somebody. So you guys have to look beyond the surface. But yeah, Toya and Eugene, problematic. Curtis called it out when him and Eugene and the guys met up, and he called Eugene out and was like, that's the problem. You can't sit up and go along with everything your wife does. They're talking about the picture with Toya calling out Curtis because he kind of had his hand on Heavenly. It did look funny. It did. I think that Curtis needs to be more aware of the shit he's doing because it does look away. Okay, it does look suspicious. But I was not there. I don't know, like I said, I'm not even a fan of him pulling Toya in his lab. It's like, why would you do that? But I think there was some nervous energy at the time of him, acclimating back into the group. He was just trying to prove that he's still comfortable with people, and we still, we still cool. you know. And if you go back, it was Toya and Eugene out of all the couples that had the most to say about Jackie and Curtis. They both like really overly judged and criticized them. Okay? Like almost acting like, do you want some Grey Poupon? I just can't imagine. Curtis dunked in the wrong basket. Yeah, he did. I just would never cheat on my wife. And you cheat on your wife with work, Eugene. You even said that you are a lot like Jackie. And that's a story for another day. But I understood where, you know, him and Toya was coming from with certain stuff. But stop acting like y'all are so fucking perfect. That's a problem too on these shows. That's a problem. And so it came out on this last episode where Curtis was like, listen, I'm not going to go along with my spouse just because she's my spouse. When she's wrong, she's wrong. And because Eugene is on this high horse, him and Toya, and Curtis cheated and they can't get over it. And that says so much about his character, right? They can't even hear what he's saying. He's actually right. Yes. He's actually, I told y'all, Curtis, if you really watch him, okay, and not just, you may not like him, and I know what people do when they don't like people. They don't even want to hear, you know, nothing the person has to say. I get it, because I could be like that too when I don't like people, but I don't hate Curtis in that way. I do dislike certain things he did to Jackie, not giving her that child. Right? Because I feel like him not giving her what she wanted, that made her in turn not give him what he wanted. And we can't feel sorry for you, nigga, because marriage is about compromise. So I didn't like that and them looking for the houses. But nevertheless, Curtis is right in this situation. And that's the problem in Toya and Eugene's marriage. And nobody is going to clock it or say it or, you know, because it's not the popular opinion. I get it. Eugene just goes along with stuff that Toya does. He does tell her when she's wrong sometimes. We have seen that. But another reason why that marriage has went on for as long as it has is because he just goes along with what she... Look at their finances. He knew that they couldn't afford that one house. What was it? The second house they got into. He knew that, but moved her ass in there. And then finally, when the shit got to be too much and his health is acting up and he's working all these hours, he's resenting her. He finally tells her, right? Because it took something, instead of you just fucking putting your foot down, being a man and telling your wife no, like, girl, you have all of these, you know... You have all of these thoughts, wants, and feelings about how you should be living the rich and high life, and we can't afford it, or we need to be on this budget. No, you didn't hear, you know, Eugene talking to Toya in a practical matter like that. You saw shit happen and shit play out and shit go down the wrong road. And their tax bill situation, and you saw all of that. You saw a culmination of different things. Instead of Eugene just being a man, putting his foot down, saying no. So, and he allows her to run amok. Okay? He does. I do like that, you know, he allows Toya to be herself too. I don't see like too much controlling behavior, but I'm with Curtis. When your spouse is wrong on something, they are dead ass wrong. And that's it. Here go Eugene in the confessional. Yeah, but she didn't lie though. And he does put his hands in play, but he also gives you all practical and sound advice. Because Eugene, you was fucked up and wrong for you to be like getting, like, for him to get in the middle of Toya and Quad's beef, that's an issue. Well, she was talking about her husband. Yeah, because you keep jumping in, nigga. This ain't double dutch. If you would stay your ass on the side, on the bench... So that's between two women. Let them duke that out. Your wife's a cast member. Quad is a cast member. But why you all up into it? Feminine. And be, you know, that's what I'm saying with Eugene. I don't like all of that because I know it's problematic. It's problematic. I do like when Jackie and Simone was having their issues, Curtis was very mature. And he said they're going to get it back together. That relationship is not too far gone. He said all the right things. Was anybody paying attention? The whole situation with Scott. He called him out. Man, you have to be honest. Scott was getting ready to leave the reunion. Eugene gave him some bad advice. Yeah, don't listen to Quad. And why are you all up in the women's business? Don't listen to Quad. Quad said that she was team Scott and Contessa. Yes, Contessa was trying to get her to be her mouthpiece. She shouldn't have. But at that time, I think Contessa didn't want to piss Scott off even more into the stratosphere. So maybe she figured she'll have her friends speak on her behalf. Do I agree with that? No, but that's what she did because, hell, her husband was not listening. It was kind of a joke when Eugene mentioned to Damon, oh, I hear that Heavenly is running for state representative. You could kind of hear Eugene in the confessional, oh, I'm not voting for her. And you got Toya, oh, I'm not. She don't need y'all vote. Do y'all really think that if you're a motherfucking hater that we need your support? I remember that one time in my life, somebody said to me, I'm not going to support you. Bitch, I don't need your support. I got the beauty, the talent. Ms. Robinson got it. Okay, the I and the T. We made it to this point for a reason. Because there's something there. You tried to do what I did and you wasn't able to be successful because it's not in you. It's not in you to do this shit. You don't have it. So yeah, Toya and Eugene, Heavenly don't need your fucking support. Okay? I don't like this business with Damon keeping stuff for Heavenly and you could kind of see that with Damon. Yeah, well, I told you about it, and even if I didn't, no, sir, you're married. She needs to know what's going on with your son. Now the son isn't speaking to her. It's like, fuck you. Like, these kids in Heavenly was like, that's still my baby. Yeah, you still my baby, but you will be my baby from afar. Okay? Because, nigga, what you mad at me for? Okay? But yeah, Damon shouldn't have hid that from Heavenly. That makes them look bad to me. And the problem with Damon and Heavenly is they like to overly perform too. Like they got this perfect marriage. Obviously you don't. He's hiding stuff. Well, I'm the man and I took care of it. Okay? You took care of it, but I found out about it on Twitter and we live in a house together. I don't want you to go off and act a fool. Okay, we could kind of see some of that, but still, Heavenly is that boy's mother. Okay, and I don't look at Heavenly any differently because her son got arrested. Could happen to anybody. People don't stop being human because they're famous or they got money. So I don't look at her no differently, but for people to try to make this into Heavenly's identity, well, she must be a bad mother. It'll never be my boys. I could look at Toya now. It'll never be my boys. So, and I'm going to briefly just run over the episode, you guys, because I just wanted to make certain points. But Toya ended up having a funeral for her dog, and I thought it was cute. The dog passed away. Due to drowning in the pool. Toya has a housekeeper. I'm like, Toya, why you got a goddamn housekeeper? Why you can't just keep the house? Put them clothes in the dryer, in the washer, honey. Okay, Toya out playing tennis, though. Okay, listen. What else? At first I thought it was something with her son, Ashton. And her boys, they are so handsome. They look like Toya to me in two different ways. I don't see Eugene at all. Maybe if we see some pictures of Eugene when he was younger, but those boys look just like Toya. The youngest and the freaking oldest. Too cute. Get your life together before you start talking to me crazy, baby. When Quad said that, I almost fell out. Get your life together. My life is together. That goddamn, Cecil, blink once or twice, nigga. Do you need help? You want us to call 911, nigga. Okay? I don't know how anybody deal with Simone. Simone is a tornado. She has so much rage and hatred inside. That's another one, projecting on the quad. I don't like this thing about the fake making up, and then we still see down the line her and Quad are going to be beefing. And, oh, I'm so hurt. You invited me late to the party. And, girl, you don't like this woman. You shouldn't have gotten an invite at all. But Quad, I guess, decided to play the long game with y'all. Try to invite y'all to some stuff because we know you and Toya will have a fucking heart attack if y'all don't get an invite. Okay? So Quad figures she throw you a bone so she could stay on the damn show. Okay, it's a mess. I like the cute little dance class the ladies did, and Toya was trying to get the ladies to all take a shot before Jackie came in. I thought that was funny. It was cute. I'm really loving this season. I feel like this show is back on track. It was something very diabolical about Dr. G and the new wife. What's her? I forgot. Sweet Tea or whatever her damn name is. It was something about them I couldn't get jiggy with. I didn't like that they was on the show. They brought, I felt, a dark energy, and I'm so glad, okay, that they are gone. I am so happy. Gregory really thought that these people were going to turn on Quad and he was going to take her paycheck from her because he hated that she left him. And that goes to show you how diabolical some of these men are. They will treat you any kind of way and think you're just supposed to stay. And it's like, make it make sense. Scott and Contessa spending all that damn money. I admire them, but I'm concerned for them because they done cashed out and they trying to get their building done. Toya and Eugene is supposed to be renting a space from them. The lady said it's going to take 2 more months. Contessa is ready, honey. One thing I admire about Contessa is her fearlessness. You gotta give it to her. That bitch ain't afraid of nothing. Look, but Scott. That's why she pissed me off season 8. I'm like, girl, you one of the toughest bitches I know if you don't check this motherfucker. Okay? If you don't check Scott. But I like that about Contessa. And I'm happy she's back. I would rather see her than Sweet Tea. I just feel like she fits more, with the group. And Jackie looks good for her age. Like, I've been seeing the little stuff that Jackie been wearing. I'm like, ooh, child, that's sexy, honey. It's sexy. Okay, so I'm really liking some of Jackie's clothes this season. She's looking really nice. She don't look her age at all. Heavenly is looking good. Heavenly just need to be full-time already. I like the girl Brandy. I like her. You got my name, sis, and you are representing very well. I like her. Very real. She don't like the damn dogs like that. She looked uncomfortable. She was me, honey. Okay? She was making faces. I actually did have a dog, Digit. She got me my first boyfriend. So rest in peace to my baby Digit. She had beautiful puppies, you guys. Oh my God. Digit was a hot girl, honey. Digit would be getting it in. We would drop Digit off at a friend house. And before me and my mom would pull off, Digit would be bucket naked, bent over, another dog humping her, and Digit would just go bang, bang, bang. I used to tell my mother, bang, bang, bang. She said, see, she gonna end up pregnant. And Digit, honey, she had a lot of different baby daddies, honey. That was my ghetto dog, honey. I love me some Digit. She got me my first boyfriend, you guys. He saw me walking the dog, and I said, oh my God, is he talking to me? It's because I got Digit, When you're walking with a dog, as a kid, you look a little bit more confident, a little bit more, I got this. Yeah, so that boy, honey, we end up going together, and I love Digit after that, okay? Digit helped me get them digits, leasing. So rest in peace to my baby Digit. I love Digit. I didn't need a dog. I'm not a dog lover. But I will always have a special place in my heart for my dog, Digit. My mom's name is Desiree. And so she kind of named her after her. She was like, I'm going to name her a D name. And she gave her Digit. So, yeah, that was good. Rest in peace to my baby. And really quickly, I didn't like what Jackie said because I felt like it was some BS about Quad and Simone. She began saying, these two ladies love each other. No, they don't. Quad don't like Simone and Simone don't like Quad. She started changing on Quad once Quad separated herself from the group. And Quad did that to protect herself because I can't trust a group of ladies that all of a sudden don't want me traveling with them. You know, Simone was over there talking with Toya. They both flipped on her once she left Gregory. She was out of that burning house. They should have been happy for her, but no. And then they got their ass, especially Toya, down to the reunion. He didn't put his hands on her. He didn't. Andy was like, I think that's what we discovered. They did that with each other, but Gregory is a man and he's stronger than Quad. So he was more of the fucking headache. He was the one with the money. Whenever you take the battery out of somebody's car, motherfucker, you got a problem. You are the problem and we don't need to go no further. So the way that those two kept trying to, defend Gregory and, even Mariah was saying some stuff and, I'm not at all saying Quad was perfect because Quad has that personality too where she be thinking everything is fucking about her. And one thing that Gregory did say to her a long time ago that I did like, I can give him some props. He said that Quad was, got too familiar with her animals and not people. And he told her, he said, you don't treat animals like people. You treat people like people. And I think he saw that in her. So I did like that he, came out and said that to her. But yeah, that's pretty much what I remember with Married to Medicine. Quad and Mimi, they're closer, hanging out. I didn't know Mimi had that party to her, honey. Okay? I'm really liking Brandy. Angel, I'm loving her personality. She's going to be our Portia. She, in a good way. Hopefully we'll see her with somebody else's husband or acting gay for pay child, a mess. But I'm really feeling, I think Married to Medicine, is like really back. It's better than Potomac. It's really good. They are back on track. That way they can have some real conversations. But yeah, I'm Team Curtis, even though Curtis was wrong, in certain situations. I don't know what happened with the Heavenly thing, but I'm Team Curtis for getting on Eugene's ass. Because you over there, you be simping, my nigga. You agree a little bit too much, and that's why you all have found yourselves on the wrong sides of the tracks, having to move all the time. Okay? Somebody is agreeing a little bit too much with their wife. And like I said, Toya did not care about Curtis cheating on Jackie. That was trauma she was carrying from what her dad did to her mom. And it spilled over into Jackie. And I think I heard Blue Centric say this. She said something. If I can't remember it, I'll put it in the comments. She said that a lot of people, they try to act concerned. Okay, like they're worried about you. But a lot of times it's just their trauma. Okay, it's just trauma based. It's just they are projecting off of what's going on inside of them. And people love acting so concerned. Because Toya is the same person that told Jackie it was her fault that Curtis cheated. She wasn't paying attention to him. And yes, Jackie did some things that it's like, if you're going to be in a marriage, you have to be around. You can't be at work all the time. You have to make your spouse a priority. Why be married? You don't have to be married. But then again, like I know what I know now, it's like Jackie made a lot of sacrifices for Curtis, and he did not in turn make those for her. So that's why she kept doing whatever the hell she was going to do. Not saying that it's right, but I understand that. Because I'm not going to keep giving and compromising and sacrificing for some nigga that's not willing to meet me halfway. So, yeah. But, yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think about it.